And hello there, how are you? Right, in this tutorial, where are you over there? Hello. Right, first of all, sorry about the bad light shining at me. It's a very sunny day out there, and we're going to enjoy the sunshine. I think that's only right. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you, I'm a mobile DJ, and one of the really good things, excuse me, I'll take a little sip of my coffee, very unprofessional, I know, but lovely all the same. One of the things we actually have nowadays is things called gobo projectors. And what a gobo projector is, it shines an image onto the wall and probably makes it move about a bit sometimes as well. But basically, if you're having a wedding, then the bride and the groom's name will go up in lights. And on this first video, I'm going to show you how to create your very own gobo for a projector. And when I say a projector, I mean one of these. If you look at this, this is a projector. This particular model is an Optima. Okay, there it is, Optima. That's what the front looks like. It's got a little screen, and I will print out these graphics, make a few graphics from it. Now, what you could also do is you could go into your favorite video editing software and make a video and play it as a video. There's loads of different ways you can manipulate them, but what I'm going to do today is show you how to make a gobo for the wall. Okay, it's not as easy as it makes out, but well, I mean, it all depends on how far you are with your Photoshop. Now, as always, I'll start with my disclaimer. Sorry. This is aimed at people who don't know how to do it. Okay, if you know how to do it and you end up watching this and you can scream 1,000 different easier ways to do it to me, that's perfect. I really don't mind that. I'd like to hear them actually. I'm learning at the same time, and it will be great for me to learn from you if you're listening. But just remember, keep into your mind that this is actually for somebody who don't know how to do it. So it's at that really bottom level of explaining, which I find the best level of explaining to be listening to. And trust me, have I got some projects I've got to do that I've got to watch videos over and over and over and over and over again for in order to get it done. Now, I've searched this out. I've searched out trying to how to do this, and there's a few businesses there that push their business onto you, but I'm going to show you how to do it if you want to make it yourself. Right, so first of all, you've got to look at it on all it is. All it is just a picture that you're going to project up onto the wall. Okay, that's all it is. However you make the picture is how it will show on the wall. Now, if you've got the picture, the whole area of the picture taken up with like a photograph or something, then it's going to look like a projector shining against the wall. Okay, and what you want to do is make it so it doesn't look like a projector shining against the wall. So it looks like a normal wall, but in the middle of the wall is these people's names, and it changes from time and time again. Okay, so that's where we are, and that's what we're going to do. So first of all, I start with a screen. I think of a screen, how it's going to go onto my projector, and so I'm going to have 1920 pixels across by 1280 pixels down. 1920 pixels across by 1280 pixels down. If you look here on my little screen, I've got one already custom made, 1920 by 1280 pixels, and I'm going to do it at 96 ppi because it's not being printed, so you don't have to worry too much about the resolution, but you still want it to look really good. So although your projector can only project 72 dpi, I just bump it up a little bit just to give it a bit of depth in color. Okay, you could be screaming at me, I'm wasting my time. Perfect, my time, my wasting. It's all good. Right, so if you want to do it at 72%, 72 dpi, be my guest, do it at 72 dpi. If you want to do it at 300 dpi, be my guest, do it at 300 dpi. There is absolutely no difference between 300 dpi and 72 dpi. The only difference is in the size of the file and how long it will take to load. So there you go. Just keep that in mind if you're uploading them to the internet. So I'm going to get my screen. I'm wobbling too much now. So here's my screen. I say that's the one I want, and I click create. and it creates it here for me. Nice big white screen. You see that? Right, that's good. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to go to my little color selector. Although it's already done, I'm going to select black, okay? Because I'm going to be doing white text on a clear background, but I want to be able to see what it is I'm doing. I want to be able to see the text that I'm doing. Okay, right, so what I'll do is I'll make that black. That's perfect. Now what I'll do is I'll start another layer, new layer, like that. I'm going to call the layer base, the final frontier. There we go, base. Call that base. Then down here on the screen, you can't see it because my camera's in the way, but let me just remove my camera for a second. Bear with me. And then I will change it so you can see it. Bear with me. With the magic of science, it goes like this. And now you can see where I'm talking about. So down here, you see where it says base. This is the background that we just turned black. And if you look, it's got a little lock there. So click the lock. Okay, when you click the lock, it takes the lock away. So therefore, you don't have to worry about the lock no more. You can now move that layer up above the base layer, and the base layer is now on the bottom, and the black one is just lying around there. And just remember, always make things easy. Double click it and call it remove this layer, because you're going to remove this layer when you finish this layer. And you might have loads of little layers on there, so you want to make sure you know what layer it is that you're moving. It's this one here. So now that's done. So we start with our text. I'm going to do it nice and easy, make it really nice and easy, and then you can decide how complex you want to make yours. But when you make yours as complex as it is, the whole thinking behind it and everything is exactly the same. So how you see me do it, you can add layers to it and carry on going as and however you want to do. So I'm going to get my fictitious wedding people. I select the text color to white because that's what color I want it to be. And I'm actually doing a wedding in a few weeks' time for John and Bonnie. It's their wedding, and I'm doing their wedding. So I'll do this for them. So I'll have John there like that, and then I'll have to cut the spaces, and I'll put and then here I'll put Bonnie, just like that, and I'll make it just a bit bigger, like that. Perfect. So it's sort of in the middle of the screen. If you've got the Photoshop and you move it around, it'll activate where it should be in order to make it be in the right place. There we go. That's central. But because of the spaces, I would just move it a little bit like that just to make it look better on the eye. But it really doesn't matter. You can have it all the way over to the left, all the way over to the right. It doesn't matter. So John and Bonnie, there they go. You can put little designs up on there also if you want. That's totally down to you. If you want to do that, you can. What I'll do is I'll find another design that we can put around this. So just bear with me for one moment. Okay, I found the graphic I'm going to use. I'm going to use this one here. It just looks like a run-of-the-mill everyday cartouche, but we're going to play around with it just slightly just to make it look. I was going to sample around with this one, but by the time we've made it slightly bigger, and it's already an oil painting, and it will look a lot worse. So we're just going to keep it simple with this one. So I'm going to say edit and paste, and it pastes this down on it. If you look at it, it pastes that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this here and copy it, get rid of it, and then say edit and paste it again. So now I can move the two around that I want to do. So if I just make that one bigger with the new Photoshop, you don't have to hold down shift to keep it constrained because it constrains it itself. And then this one over here, layer 2, bring it just up here, and then maybe make that one a bit bigger as well. There we go, like that. So they both sit together like that, and that's them both sitting together. Now it looks different, the white on the yellow, but you know that doesn't matter. That does not matter one bit. You can, of course, now change the colours however you wish to see fit. You can make John and Bonnie pink if you want, or make John blue and have Bonnie pink. But we'll play around with a couple of ideas as it goes. So this is where we stand at this present in time. I take off that back layer, so that will come off. So when it shines onto the wall, all you will have is what's on there now. You won't have these little squares. That little square shows me that there's no background to it whatsoever. So if the wall was black, it would look like that. Okay, that's what it would look like if the wall was black. So we have that like that, and we're going to say File, Save As, and over here I'm going to call it, they're called monograms. Folder, I'm going to call it Monogram. Bzz. More than one, double click and say, call this one JB1. There we go, JB1. And so we say, okay, we click our little image back on, and there's our image. And then what we could do now is we could take John and Bon and change the color of that text to that color. And then change the color of this layer and this layer, nope, wrong layers, this layer and this layer, and say layer style color overlay. Today would be nice. Okay, layer style color over. Right, it's playing games. Let's select one layer. Maybe it's because I selected the two. Layer style color overlay, that's a bit better. And then choose white and say OK, and then choose this one here and say layer and go color overlay and choose white again, and then say file, oops, and then take off the black like that and say file, save as, and then where this is JB1, you change this one to JB2 like that. So that's JB2, and then you could go back to it again and change something else. You can now change John to he can go blue because he's a boy, and Bonnie, she can go pink because she's a girl, like that. And you'll change the and to white, like that. And then you'd go to this one up here, and you'd leave both them as they are, and you'd say File, Save As, JB, and you've guessed it, 3. Right, and you can change them as much as you like. You could add things to them. You might want to get yourself some images of wedding rings or balloons or bride and groom dancing or something like that, and you could paste it along the place. You make the picture so it looks nice, then take the background off so there's no border to it. It's just an image on the wall, and that's how you do it. Basically, that's how you would make a monogram for a wedding, and then you put that onto your projector, and your projector shines it onto the wall, and the rest is history. That's it. So I hope that's made up. In fact, what I'll do is, if you look now, I've got this one, but I've saved them as Photoshop, so I've not saved them as they should be. So I'll take that layer off, and I'll say File, and I'll say Save As. And if we look here, it's already called JB3. If you look here, right here where I'm moving that, it's already called JB3. But I'll change that to a PNG file and say Save. And then it saves it as a PNG file, and that's that. I can now close that file. Do you want to save it? No, it's all good as it is, so it's gone. I can get rid of that. That was never used. Goodbye. And I can get rid of this because that served its purpose, and I can say File, Open, and if we look here, JB1 and JB2, open them up again. There's JB1, whatever. Why not just say File, save as, and then down here I'm going to save it as a PNG file. You have to save it as a PNG file because if you save it as a JPEG, it will put white in the background. You'll see a white square with no words on it because the words are white. And then this one, file, save as, and it's already JB1. I just change it to PNG and say save, and then that's that can come off. That's good. And then that comes off as well. So if we went into our folder, into downloads, and then into, I'm trying to think what I called it. I called it monograms, didn't I? Monograms, there we go. There it is. You see you've got these images here. If we just go to show them as images, there you can just make out. So if I double click this one, and it comes up, it's going to show it, but it will look and it will see that the background isn't there, so it will just put a random background to it. When it decides to look at the picture, it will put a random background to it, and whatever the random color the random background is, then that will be the color that it chooses. This always takes a hell of a lot of time to come up. I could say look at that one and open it with open with and give it paint, and it'll just open it in paint, but it will look like that. That's what it will look like. John and Bonnie. You won't see the you won't be able to see the cartouche because it's showing it on a white background. So you want something that isn't going to show it on a white background. If you look here, you could just about see the cartouche. When I select it, you can just about see what the white color is, and that's that. And if we look here, this is it throwing it up on here now. It's got a white background. It's decided to put a white background in there so you can't see the John and Bonnie. I mean, you could just about make it out, but it's no good if you're going to be throwing that up on the wall. So you do it as a PNG file, and then the PNG file has no background to it, and because it has no background to it, guess what? You won't have a background. You'll just have their names on the wall. There we go. That's it. That's the end of this lesson. Don't forget, you can edit it as much as you like. If you want it to be a picture, then just make it a picture. The choice is totally yours, but all the factors that we learnt here today are very much the same. I hope this has been any help to you. If it has, make a comment below. It'd be nice to hear from you. I'll leave my email address in the little box below as well if you want to send an email. If you have any questions or anything like that, just ask a question and I will answer it to the best of my capabilities. Remember, a bit like you, I'm a learner myself. So that's what I'm doing. I'm actually learning at the same time. I don't say I'm an expert for anything, but as I learn a trick, I'll come on here and I'll show you how it's done, because there's not enough of them out there that makes it simple for those of us who have to have it simple. And it's a lot better, isn't it? It's a lot better. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you very much. I'll sign off now and look forward to the next video, whatever it is. Who knows? Bye bye for now. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.